sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are. Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. As always, appreciate you being on. This is Andrew, Blake Newbar's partner program, high performance call, yada, yada, all that other fun stuff. Appreciate you being here, whether you're on live or maybe watching later on YouTube. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be, with the new camera and cable and everything coming in today, there's going to be some extra content I'm going to start putting out there. It's going to be a little bit different. So great place. Go ahead and subscribe there. All right. The link to the Google Drive. Yes, I'm going to share that in just a minute. So we're in the middle of a content challenge. We're in the middle of, working on yourself and becoming more focused, more efficient, more proficient in everything you do. Yesterday, I should have worn this shirt, but yesterday I talked about discipline, right? Discipline over motivation. So hopefully some of you guys, did anybody get a little bit out of that? Did something prick at the back of your head? And I had a conversation with my fiance last night talking about, excuses and lies and discipline and motivation and everything else, and writing out my goals today, recognizing that, I got some ass kicking to do and it's all mine. So it's time to make things happen. All right. What I want to do. So on the conversation yesterday, just some of you guys, I got multiple messages from people. You weren't able to download the video that I showed. So one of the things with the challenge, hopefully you guys are posting consistently your content, right? I gave you last week 7 days worth of content in order to post. So you got something for every single day. One of the things that I threw out there is over the course of the next couple of months, I'm going to have multiple days where there's going to be an opportunity like this. You'll come on, we'll talk about a certain topic, be it fitness or chiropractor or doctor, like whatever it is, whatever your niche is, we're going to find a topic. If it's real estate, we'll talk about what's happening in the real estate market. We'll talk about, changes that may be coming and why it's important to position yourself as the expert utilizing social media, even though buyers are still looking for homes, right? Like there's all sorts of different topics. What I want you guys to do is pick something that you can talk about for 60 seconds. I'll do kind of interview style. We'll film it. I'll record it. And then I'm going to have my guy edit it. So to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, this is the other day I asked Patricia a question, and this is what my guy came up with. So I'm going to be quiet here.
You eat better when you exercise early in the day. Metabolism, it does energize my day, gets me focused on what's important, but also for doing something that's a little bit of impact. We've got to strengthen our bones. We want to boost our metabolism, especially as we are boomers and beyond, or even if we're not boomers, we still want to boost our metabolism. It really jump starts the day. It's not I don't want the reward. I want the reward of good food to nourish my body, to strengthen me, to keep me, charging full speed ahead, because I need my energy not just for me, but for my clients. So think about the people that you are impacting with your being. And when you are raring to go, not only do you succeed, but so do the people around you.
Right. So that's what my guy put together from that little 60-second clip, just her talking a little bit. And you see she rolled with it. Nothing complicated, right? Really nothing groundbreaking that was said, but the way she presented it, and then you add in the video, it turns into a pretty cool little piece. So I've already had a few of you reach out to me and say, hey, this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to start to line that up. I'm thinking that Wednesday evening next week will be the first time. And so I'll give you guys a time, and then you'll be able to pop on, just be there, be ready, say, this is what I'm going to talk about. If you give me something ahead of time, then I can roll on it with you to kind of guide a little bit, and then we'll record it and, give my guy a couple of days and he'll have something for you. Does that sound all right? You guys think that might be cool to use, right? So part is just showing what's there. Okay. What was the question? Seems a lot of time online though, posting if that many per day, 2 times per. Okay. So Michelle, all right. So don't spread it across 5 platforms. Pick 1 or 2. And like if you're doing Facebook and Instagram, so the part of the challenge I gave yesterday was 3 to 7 posts a week, 3 to 7 reels or short videos like that. And they don't have to be that. If you don't want to post reels, that's fine. And then about 10 stories a day. Facebook and Instagram, you can post from one and push it to the other, right? You don't have to post there and then go post there. You post on one and push it, right? So that's one, right? Your reels, your stories, all of that can be utilized multiple times. If you have a niche that performs well on LinkedIn, you don't have to go there. If it intimidates you, then don't do it. But you can take virtually the same thing, turn around and put it over here, right? Maybe some slight modifications depending on how it is, but really you can use some of the same content on multiple platforms, right? And then the 10 stories, like that's 15 seconds a piece or a post and done and move on. Okay, so it doesn't have to take a whole lot of time. You just got to be real strategic about it. Okay, so is my sound fading? No. Okay. It may have been, I may have just been turning around. That might have been it. All right. Let me show you guys what I added to the Google Drive here. Some of you guys may have seen it already. There are apps
you can get question about
the same post to several platforms. Yeah, Hootsuite can. Michelle, go ahead.
Michelle, I have a question about the 10 stories. Like 10 stories, 15-second each. Like when I watch people across the Facebook and I see what they're sending me in a day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I start feeling overloaded when they have like too much stuff on there. If they put like, and I don't like it when they put 10 in a row. So you'd have to actually do stories then on different ones to keep it short, because, you know, as people watch, they don't want to sit and watch for that long on your story.
Right.
So I'm like feeling like 10 is a lot.
Well, you don't have to do 10 all at once. You pop on and you do 2. Yeah. And that should take 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes if you decide you want to type something out. Right? A story is 15 seconds long. Right?
I guess. But I mean, a lot of people I know, they post a picture. So they got the one story, you sit and watch the picture, whatever they had to say. And then it goes next, the next. So if it's going to take.
So you do one and then you bounce off the app. So I get on, I post a picture and then I'm gone. Like, you don't have to hang out and wait and see what people are doing. Right.
But I mean, you add to it. Right. So then the story's on for 24 hours. So if you did 10 on just your own personal page, that would be 10 little slots that when somebody jumps on in the night, they go, wow, crap, that person's got a lot to watch, and they skip you.
Yep. That's exactly what I'm telling you to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm telling you to do. I think you're underestimating how much time people spend on social media.
Okay, because when I see somebody with 10, I watch like the first couple. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Okay, then make them really damn interesting.
Okay. All right, and then in 24 hours,
you're not worried about. Here's so one of the best examples. So, Michael, I'm going to give you guys some examples for content. It's in the PDF that I just uploaded. There's a handful there. There's some links for hashtags. There's links for different programs and stuff. So a lot of you guys know I used to do cleaning and restoration. I was talking about yesterday. I had a company. So my ex-wife grew up. Her dad had been a carpet cleaner forever. That's how I got into it. I started working for him. And then we partnered up and built the business. So after a while with the business, when I started with him, whenever he did a residential house, he charged by the area. So I don't know if you guys have ever had your carpet steam cleaned. He would charge by the area. $20 an area is what he charged. So if you had 5 rooms, it was $100. The hallways, 1 area. If it was an extra large room, it was 2 areas. There was always this gray area about, well, is this really 2 rooms or is it just kind of a big room? And so we really just charge for 1. But that's it. And that's how he charged. And he charged that way because he always felt like no one was going to pay more. Like that was it. Right? No one's willing to pay more for this. And he would work. Oftentimes we would do the work. We'd be there for hours and hours and hours. Sometimes it didn't matter how dirty it was. It didn't matter how messed up it was. It didn't matter how much furniture you had to move. $20 an area. Well, after a while, I said, we can't really do business like this because our costs are all over the place. We don't know how much it's going to cost when we get into a house. We can't charge extra because we're spending more time or doing extra work. Not like it doesn't make sense. So I propose we set up packages. We had a gold, a silver, a gold, and a platinum package. Now the platinum package, yeah, Hartley, absolutely, square footage. That's what I was saying. By the square foot is what I said that we would charge. And we were going to do extra. So like the platinum package, all of them included vacuuming, included, pre-treat and raking the carpet and pre-treating spots individually, and then odor protection and on and on and on. And the platinum program even included like wiping baseboards, cleaning off air filters that were near the floor, like all sorts of different stuff, right? Corner protectors now is completely standard. We're putting on booties over our shoes, like went all out. Well, the platinum package included carpet protector and included, we would come back for up to 60 days to remove any spot for free, right? Well, the platinum package is like 80 cents a square foot. So that 100 square foot room that he used to charge $20 for was now $160, right? Like things, it was totally different. So he just said, there's no way people are going to do that. Well, they didn't do the platinum super often, but they would do the gold pretty often. And that was still about 3 times, 4 times as much as what we were charging before. We were providing the same level of service. We were just explaining to them what we were providing. We were giving value, and they understood that value. And it's all about the perceived value, and it's about who your audience is. And so the same thing applies here, right? You may not be your audience. And I hope you guys understand that. You may not be your audience. If you're selecting a certain type of niche, some of you are. Some of you, you're the doctor and you're also marketing doctors. You're a realtor, or you're in real estate and you're marketing to other real estate agents. But there will be some that are going to be willing to pay for a premium or pay more attention as long as the value is there. And I bring this up because it was a conversation I remember having with my ex, where she said, I would never pay you that much to perform my service. And I said, you know what? That's totally fine, because you're not my target audience. You're not a professional in her 40s driving a BMW. You're not my audience. You grew up with a carpet van in the driveway your whole life, and having your dad clean the carpets anytime the whimsy was there. It's not the same thing. Right? And you guys got to understand, you positioning yourself as an expert, you're going to provide value that is interesting to them and their audience. And so it's not simply, a picture of nothing. Like there's got to be some value there that makes them say, I want to know more. Right? And maybe it's a series of images. Maybe you use, infographics, and you're posting one or the other, and it's about real estate, for example, California market, Texas market, this. Now all of a sudden, places aren't 10, 20, 30% over asking price. In certain areas in Dallas, because I was watching a story, I'm not even in real estate investing, but a buddy of mine is, and the way he was posting was great. So I've found out that this certain area of East Dallas and the homes that are selling there are only 2% above asking price on average. And so as long as you offer right around there, there's a good chance that your offer is going to be accepted versus some other areas. It was interesting because of how it was presented. And I'm not even in that market. So if you make your stuff interesting, and how do you find out what's interesting? You do your research and you understand your niche and your target audience. And that's really what it boils down to. So if you guys are willing to do that, that's one of the things I talk about. Look, research isn't sexy, but if you do it and do it well, it'll skyrocket what you do. And if you ignore it, you're going to go, I don't know why no one's looking at my stuff. Well, because, and if you're sitting there going, well, I'm not really interested anyway, then find something that is interesting and share that. It doesn't have to be you. It's not like it was him sitting there talking. He was showing graphics from the, from the newspaper, from MLS. It's there. Okay. So does that make sense? Guys, step off my soapbox for a second. All right. So inside of the Google Drive here, and I'll share this with you guys in a bit. You've all got access to it in the Skype group, but so right here is what I'm going to show you. So this content marketing calendar, and I'll rename it. It's a PDF that talks about all of this stuff. Okay. So there's some quotes that are in here, why you do it, how it works, right? Look at my VA. She got the hair pretty much right. Always the black shirt, right? Anyway, what is it? How it works? Here's some ideas. There's a free content calendar on plr.me. That's where I pulled some of this, so you can grab that. Some ideas about videos, blogs, if you decide you want to write blogs, lead magnets, and content upgrades. Some of you guys create your own or get one on plr.me, like pull up, create your own ebook that you give away. It's not that hard. Top 10 list of, things to look out for when selecting a doctor, a mechanic, a plumber, a contractor, a therapist, a personal trainer, anything. You guys make those up, right? How to write emails. If you decide some of you guys are starting to build an email list, here's social media posts. Again, be where they are, schedule them in advance, use hashtags. How do I, be genuine, interactive. Here we go, right? Webinars, if you want to do that. I know that this is a bit more in depth. Some of you guys are going webinars and courses. I'm never going to do that. That's fine. Maybe forever before you write a full ebook, but some of you guys I know are already thinking about it. Some of you guys already have some content planning strategies. So this is from plr.me. If you click on this, it'll take you here. Okay, so you can use that. Let me see. Oh, where were we? Emails, live streams, courses, slide decks, content strategies, format, images. So here's a few places that you can get totally free, high quality photos. Okay. There's 4 there. Hashtags. Here's some places you can get hashtags. Figure out what hashtags to use inside your social media. Okay. Different ideas to track it. There's a lot there. It's pretty complete. There's plenty in it. Okay. Some of it may be applicable right now. Some of it may not. So go through there. Right. And what is that an example of? That's something that I grabbed as a PLR. Everybody knows what PLR means? It is, not private letter ruling. No, not at all, Michael. Much better from a marketing perspective. PLR means private label rights. Means I buy the rights, I throw my logo on it, and I get to repurpose it over and over and over again. Okay. You guys can do that same thing. If you're worried about, hey, I can't create this content. I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do there. Then don't. Get somebody else's. It's what we did with the partner program, right? Blake created it. All I'm doing is slapping a logo on it and going after a different niche with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to me a little bit about Fred. The Google Drive's available inside the Skype group. You got to be a member of the Skype chat there. So, if someone's got the link for that, and I asked, if you guys are in there, participate. Who's got questions about content? Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Go a little Q&A. Anybody got any questions, or is everybody just know everything already? We're good.
Andrew, how do I go about getting more than what you have posted on the challenge on the Google Drive, like the animation and things like the one that you and Patricia did, which was awesome?
Okay, well, so that little video, I'm going to do one of those I'm going to set up a time over the course of the next few weeks, multiple times. You'll be able to hop on, talk about whatever topic, and then I'm going to have my guy edit that out. So whatever your niche is, message me and say, hey, here's my niche, and either message me with the idea that you want to talk about. If you're not 100% sure, I've had a couple people message and say, hey, here's my niche. What do you think I can talk about? And I'll either come up with something, or I'll tell you where to go look and figure something out. So you can do a little research and then come back and say, all right, here's my topic. I'm ready to go.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So I'm going to make that available. It's going to be, I'm not going to do it for everyone unless you're participating. All right. If I don't see it, if you're here if you're here occasionally, you don't have to be here every single day. But if I know you're here and look, there's a group of you, I know you're always here. That's fine. You miss a day or two. That's cool. If you can only be here once in a while, or if you're watching on the recording, then comment on the recording so that I know that you're paying attention. Right. And some of you guys have started to do this, not just, hey, I'm here, but I like what you said about blah, blah. Like, let me know that you're doing it. Right. Don't go for like the high school, like did the homework. What'd you think? Oh, it was good. Really? What'd you learn? A lot. Okay, good. So you didn't do it, did you? You didn't read the chapter. Okay. Just show that you're participating, because I'm paying my guy to do the work for you. And I got no issues doing it as long as you're participating. All right. That's the only thing I'm asking. Okay. So I'll have him do that. And then I'll end up throughout this month, I'm going to give you other places to go to get more content for yourselves, and how to borrow it, how to use it, how to create your own. There's a lot of places you can do that. Okay. Questions about content? Questions about posting? Questions about what?
Yeah, and Andrew, this is Mike.
Yep.
So you talk about your VA and having a VA do content for you and stuff. So and maybe it's not for this call, maybe you have it coming up in a future call or whatever, but I'd like to just get an understanding about what is the best way to communicate your thoughts to a VA so that when you get content coming back, it's more aligned with your thinking, your philosophies, your thoughts, that kind of thing.
So when you start working with a VA, first thing that I do is I ask for a few examples of their work, right? So I always talk with multiples to get an idea. So I've got two that are doing stuff for me full time, right? And like the person that put together that PDF has one style, and then I got my guy that does videos that's different. Now she does videos too. I like my guy that does them a little bit better. They both will do posts for me on social media. She's a little bit better with some of the PDF stuff. So, right. So there's different things. Now, obviously I'm putting out more content, and really I'm doing it right now, ramping up to the rest of this year and into 2020 to be a lot. So, I'm talking about things that maybe step 2 or 3 on a VA scale. You don't have to get that far right out of the gates. You don't have to worry about employing someone for 30, 40 hours a week. You can do them just a couple hours a week, right? But one of the first things I would do is ask for some of their work, get some of that work back. And then you say, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's a couple of, I would then find on Facebook or on Instagram, a couple of different brands and say, here's an image or a look that I would like to go for. Here's how I want my stuff to feel like as well. Can you put together something that looks like this and see how they do? And then when they do it, if it comes back and you go, you know what, I like that. That's sharp, or that'll work for what I'm looking for. Then great, you have a starting point. But then every time they do something, they give it to you and you approve it. You go, yep, that works. Hey, I need you to change this. Can you modify that? I do that all the time. Every time my guy does a reel, he gives it to me. And if I want him to make some changes, I give it to him. Now we're at the point where most of the time I'm like, this works, right? I'm starting to get them both used to writing out what the caption is. It always needs a little work because I've been doing it longer. And ultimately, it's my responsibility, right? I can't put it on them. But they're getting better and better. I'm providing some of the training that I've got access to, right? It's one of the things that one of the reasons I feel like the relationships that I have with my VAs, it tends to last because I'm finding ways to educate them as well, right? I'm not just asking for them to do everything I need. I'm trying to help them get better as they do it. Right. So that's one way that I approach it. And then they'll give back, one of them gave me back a post. I said, hey, change this, modify that, do this, or I'll rewrite it. And I'll say, here's what I changed. Here's what I'd like to post. And you just work with them. Now, how much you should pay for a VA, it really depends. Like I employ my VAs I outsource certain things to people here in the US. And so those things are obviously cost a bit more. I'm currently the 2 virtual assistants that do content for me, because like Krissa and that team, that help with the calls, they're also in the Philippines. So it varies wildly, right? Some people are a few bucks an hour. Some people can be a lot more depending on what you're having them do. Higher skilled typically will charge a little bit more, but you can get someone that's pretty good, that's still a lot better than what you would do for a pretty decent rate, you know? And so, and then you grow and scale that just like you would any business. But really, I mean, for a few hours of work a week that frees up my time, like I would never be able to do and post and all the stuff that that I'm able to if I didn't have somebody. It just wouldn't happen, you know. And if you're in the spot where you're like, I want to get this done, but it's just not happening at all, well, then maybe, you know, a few bucks a week for someone that's going to do it and do it for you and do it pretty well. And then if you still keep doing some and you add them on, now all of a sudden I'm doubling or tripling or more my productivity. Again, Michelle, you know, there's different ways to go about price range. It's really what you're comfortable with, you know, and I mean, the reality is, hold on, I'll talk about it here in a second. Okay. So when we wrap up the call, I'll talk about that. Any other questions about content or anything else? We're right at about 30 minutes, but anybody got questions about anything?
How do you join the Skype group?
Someone dropped the link in there for me. Now it's find them on Fiverr. You can find them on Fiverr. There's other places. There's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's, you know, VA centers. I got a buddy that runs a company. He's out of Jersey, but his family's from Philippines. And so he's got, you know, a ton of people there. One of my agents works directly with them. I've referred a couple of people to them. Some have used them, some haven't. It really, it's just if it's a good fit for you, you know. So,
Andrew, how much do you usually pay your VA per hour?
I'll talk about it in a minute.
It's Philippines money.
I'll talk about it in a minute.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? No? All right. Mine's. Oh, your question about YouTube. So I haven't jumped into YouTube Shorts yet. Jump on it. Mugabo, rock with it. You know, it's just like TikTok. If you're in a spot to make it work, then do it. Go for it. You know, it's an extra platform. Try it out. You can use some of the stuff that you would use on an Instagram story. A lot of people are reposting your Instagram stories or TikToks or other stuff on there. Content would be ideally your niche topic plus things that would be interesting to them, and marketing, obviously, because you're positioning yourself as someone that understands a little bit more about marketing. So new stuff that's coming out with marketing, you know, hey, Apple updates and how it can affect your accounting business, right? Bet you didn't know Apple's new update may affect how you get customers, like all that kind of stuff. That could apply for every single niche, right? And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to share an entire article because 99% of your audience won't read it. You read it and you pick two big highlights, or you look for someone else, like most important aspects of iOS updates when it comes to marketing. Read that article, pick two things, and then just apply it to your niche. Right? It's not as complicated as a lot of people make it out to be. There's content out there. Oh, like there's content everywhere. You just need to grab it. And when sometimes they go, well, this doesn't apply to my niche, I call BS, because you can, if you get creative, you can make anything apply to your niche. Anything. You really can. So look, become more efficient. Hopefully you guys are taking control of your mornings. You're adding in a little more discipline. You're starting to put out your content. On Friday, I'm going to give you content for the next 7 days. It's going to be included inside the Google Drive folder. Join the Skype group, do your affirmations, get stuff done, become better, go out and be awesome. Love you guys. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and it's bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.